Welcome everyone. Today we are going to learn the remaining types of inheritance. In the previous video, we already learned about single inheritance using public and private access specifier. Today we learn about multi-level inheritance and hybrid or virtual inheritance. The other two inheritance, the multiple inheritance and hierarchical inheritance, I'll give you as an assignment to try on your own. Multiple inheritance we already tried in the first inheritance video, in which we tried how to use the syntax for multiple inheritance. That means when you have two or more base class and one derived class, how to use the syntax, we already seen that. Hybrid is a quite opposite of multiple inheritance. You have one base class, two or more derived classes. You can try on your own. I'll guide you. I'll give that as an assignment. The other two, multi-level and hybrid or virtual inheritance, we need to focus a little bit to understand how it works. So we see two or more programs to understand how multi-level and hybrid inheritance works. First, we see about multi-level inheritance. We straight away get into the program. We know how the multi-level inheritance works. Let me quickly recap that. We'll be having three classes. First, we have a parent class, and then we have an intermediate class, and then we have a derived class. That means a parent class acts as a base class, an intermediate class acts as a derived class, and then when it comes to intermediate and derived class, intermediate acts as a base class, and the last one is going to be a derived class. I hope you remember that picture which I explained it, and the example which I said, grandfather, father, and you, always relate in that manner, so that it will be easy for you to understand. Here I have taken a simple example. First class, I'm going to keep as student. Here I'm going to get the roll number and I'm going to display the roll number. And second class, that's your intermediate class, your father class, that's going to have two subject marks. I'm going to get the marks for two subject and then I'm going to display that. The last derived class is going to be add these two marks and display the total marks as an output. And remember, the roll number and the two marks, it's all going to be given from the main function. That means we are going to use function with some parameters. Let's see that. First I have a class called student, that's your base class. Let me have a protected and int roll number, and let me have two function under public access specifier. I told you one is to get the value, another one is to display the value. So let me have void get roll number, and these values are going to be given from the main function. So I don't know what is going to be the value. So let me give the return type alone. I just say integer, and let me define this outside the class. So I'm just declaring here, and next function is to display. So let me say put underscore roll, and here we don't need to pass any parameter, not required. Let me define this outside before going for the other class. So void student. The reason why I'm defining this outside is to make you familiar how to use it, because every time when I define inside the class, you might not have an idea how to define that outside a class. So that's the reason I'm doing it. It's all up to your interest. You can define this inside a class, either outside the class. Now I need to define this function, so I can't just give the return type. I have to give a variable. So let me give a variable as a. Here I need to assign this a into that roll number. So roll number equal to a. So whatever value I get in a is going to be assigned to roll number. Next I need to display that. So student, my class name, scope resolution operator, put underscore roll with no parameter. I need to display, so just directly use cout, say roll number equal to, just call this variable, that's enough. Now I'm done with the base class. Let me directly jump into my intermediate class. That's my father class. Let me have a name called test. So this class, this intermediate class, must inherit the properties, some of the properties from my base class. So I'm saying public student. It's not compulsory all the time I have to inherit from the base class. If you need, you can inherit, or else you can leave as it is. So let me have one more data here. I need two data, isn't it? I am going to get two values, and it might be in decimal. So let me say float subject 1 comma subject 2, and let me have two functions here. One is to get the mark, so get underscore marks, and I told you the values are going to be given from the main function. So two values, it's going to be in float. I'm just giving the return type, and next I need to display this marks, so put underscore marks with no parameter. Let me define this void, the class name is test, scope resolution get underscore marks, and here I have to give the variable along with the return type. Let me say x and another one as y. Now assign those variables into subject 1 and subject 2. Subject 1 will be assigned as x, and subject 2 will be assigned as y. The next function void class name test scope, and the function name is put underscore marks, I guess, yeah, marks with no parameter. I'm going to display, so let me use cout. I need to get two marks, so marks in subject 1 I need to call the first variable, that is subject 1, and likewise call the second marks in subject 2, my second variable sub 2. Okay, so now I'm done with the second class, my intermediate class. Now I have to go for the last class, derived class. Here I'm going to give the result, so I'm going to add these two marks and produce the result. So let me have a class name as result, and this result can inherit only from the intermediate class, not from the base class. I can't go directly. So public, my intermediate class name is test. I'm using this test here, and if you use test comma and public again student, that's going to pass an error. Multi-level does not support in that manner. You have to use another type like hierarchical inheritance or multiple inheritance. You have to go like that, but multi-level always work in this order. Here let me give one variable in private, say float total, since I'm going to add the two variables, and let me have one function under public access specifier just to display the value with no parameters. Now let me define this outside the function. Void class name is result scope, and the function name display of. Here I'm going to add those variables, that is sub 1 plus sub 2, and these sub1 and sub2, these two present in my intermediate class. So this is going to inherit sub1 and sub2 from my intermediate class. So to make you understand how to inherit any properties from my base class, so there we have in a base class we have a function called uh, put underscore roll number, I guess. Let me check that. Yeah. So let me display that. Let me use this function put underscore roll inside my derived class. Let me call that here. Put underscore roll. Is that my function name? Let me check again. Yeah, put underscore roll. That's my function name. I'm calling a base classes function inside a derived class. The same way, let me call the derived classes function also. I'm sorry, intermediate classes function also. And later, I'm going to display the total mark. Total and the variable total. Enter. So this is going to be the mother of all display function. So it's going to add two variables, two marks, and it's going to store under the variable total, and then it's going to display my roll number that's in my base class, and next it's going to display my marks that's present in my intermediate class, and finally it's going to display the total which I'm mentioning in this function display of. So now in the main function, first I need to create an object. So obviously we have to create an object for derived class, not for intermediate, not for base. Let me say R as an object. So using this object, I need to assign the values first. First I need to assign my roll number. I just mentioned that as, what's the function name? Get underscore roll. That's the function I need to call to assign the roll number. Get underscore roll. And here I have to give the number directly that is going to be assigned there. Let me say 2022 something, and this will be assigned there. And next I need to assign the marks. So get underscore marks. Here I have to give the two marks. Float, isn't it? So 75.6 comma 89.3, and next I need to call the display function, my last one, all dot display of, with no parameters. I'm calling each function from each class. Okay, just save and run the program. Yes, my roll number, as I mentioned, 2022, marks in subject 1 75.6, subject 2 89.3. These are the given data, and now the total has been performed and I got the output in the same manner. So in the display, first I need to display the roll number, two subject marks, and then final total. Now you understood how the derived class interact with the intermediate class and as well as with the base class. This is how a multi-level inheritance works. Now let's go for the last one, hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance, let me take the same program, and I'm going to add two other types of inheritance here. When I say hybrid inheritance, it's a combination of other types of inheritance. You can have single inheritance, you can have multi-level, multiple, hierarchical, anything you can have. Here I'm going to have multi-level. Since we already have the program here, multi-level I have already done here, so I'm going to take this multi-level. Along with this, I'm going to add multiple inheritance. We know the concept of multiple inheritance, that is two or more base class and one derived class. So let's get into that first. Let me create a new file. Before that, let me copy this program.
Fold down your hands, give me a sigh. Put
created a new file hybrid underscore inherit.cpp. Now I have copied the multi-level program here. Since I'm going to follow the same concept, I'm going to add one more base class here. Since I told you that we are going to follow the multiple and multi-level. Multi-level we already have student, and then we have test, and then we have result. Now the derived class is going to be same. The derived class here is result. So let me introduce result here. This is my derived class. Result is my derived class. Now let me introduce multiple inheritance. Multiple means this result should be inherited from two base classes. We already have a base class called test. So let me introduce one more base class. Let me include something called sports, and let me include the sports marks also inside the result. So two subject marks and one sports mark will be added and finally displayed as an output. So I'm not going to change anything in the previous program, same as it is what we have done so far, we keep as it is. Only thing is I'm going to add one more base class, that is before this class result I'm going to introduce a class called sport. That's going to be a pure base class, and I'm going to have one data here. Let that be in protected access specifier. Let me say under float my score under any game that you're playing. Under public, let me have same concept, two function. One is to get the score, another one is to display the score. Let me have void get underscore score, and let me define this inside the class itself. So those classes defined outside the class, let me define this inside this class. So let me say float again, let's say yes. Here I need to assign this yes in score, so score equal to yes, and again the value will be given under main function. That means the value for yes will be given under the main function while I call this function from the main function. So next is to display. So same thing, put underscore score of with no parameter. Let me define that. I need to say display the score, and I say score, call the data. That's it. So I created a new base class sport, and now the last one is my derived class, isn't it? Result, and I already inheriting a base class called test. That's my intermediate class, but according to result, test is a base class. Now if I want to satisfy multiple inheritance, one derived class should access at least more than two base classes, at least minimum of two base class. So I'm going to add one more base class. That's my new base class, public sport. That's my new base class. So what are the changes I have to make here? So under display, so along with this subject to, I need to add my score also. Later on, anything to be added. So I need to call that function, isn't it? That like I'm calling the roll number and marks, here I have to call the score also. So that will also be displayed. So the total is going to be same. So in the main function, I have the same thing. I'm going to create the object for my derived class. I'm calling the roll number with the value and then two marks, and now I need to set the score for my place. So r dot get score. Here I have to give the score like 9.0, like that. All right, we are done. Now let me check this works. Yeah, so my roll number so and so, mark 1, mark 2, so and so. Now I got the score 9. Now I got the new total by including the score along with this 2 subject marks. I got 173.9. So now we have satisfied how to use multi-level and multiple in one single program. We call it as a hybrid inheritance. Let's see one more program. We have a small complication when it comes to hybrid inheritance. Here the concept is quite simple, so you could able to understand. Now just look at this picture. I'm going to have a new kind of picture, the same concept. I'm having this student test result. Test is going to inherit from result is going to inherit from test and sports. So let me add it in a quite different manner. I'm going to add one more inheritance here, that is hierarchical inheritance. We are going to have multi-level, multiple and hierarchical. So I'm just changing the picture or changing the way it is going to inherit. Look at the picture here. We have a student as a base class, and then we have test that is inheriting from student. At the same time, sports is also inheriting from the student. That means one base class, two derived class. Base is a student, derived are test and sport. So this satisfies my hierarchical inheritance. At the same time, student, the last one, result is a derived class. This derived class is inheriting from test and sports. So that means it's satisfying my multiple inheritance. That means I have two base class, test and sports are the base class, and my derived class is result. Alright. Now the multi-level which I am saying. So there are two ways of multi-level. One I can say student test result. Another one is student sports result. The question over here is, if my derived class result wants to acquire any property from my base class, that means student, I can able to do that. I can access any property from base class student, but either it can be traveled through test or it can be traveled through sports. But we don't have any condition or syntax how this data is going to be traveled. Let me say that class result, then I'm inheriting any properties from student. There will be a confusion whether the property from student will be taken through test or through sports. So that creates an ambiguity in a program. That's going to pass an error if you're not giving a proper condition. To avoid this ambiguity, I'm introducing virtual in student. That is, I'm making the base class as virtual. So every time when you want to inherit the properties from student, you should be inheriting as a virtual student, either the test or sports. These test and sports are going to inherit from the student, isn't it? So if it is going to inherit, we have to use the term virtual. So the term virtual is going to make us understand that any one path is going to be chosen. If I make both the test and sports are virtual, it only takes only one path. It will never get confused. It will avoid the ambiguity, and whatever that I need in my derived class is going to be fulfilled accordingly. That's the role of virtual in base class. Hope you are clear about what I said. I'll have the same program, same ditto program with small modification. Let me create that in my new class. New file. I have created a new file, virtual underscore inher. I have copied this previous program, hybrid program, with the same project I'm using. So let's go step by step. Header file namespace. I have a class name called student, and under the class student I have a data roll number, and function, two function, one is to get, another one is to put. I'm defining that outside the class, all remains same. Now come to this next one. I'm saying class test colon public student. Now I said this test as well as the next one sport, this is also going to inherit. That means I'm using colon, I say public, it's going to use a base class, inherit the properties from base class. Now look here, class sport is inheriting from student, class test is inheriting from student. Both these are inheriting from base class. It's not our problem, it can be inherited. We don't have any problem when we use a command like this. This is called the example of hierarchical inheritance. One base class and two derived class, that is test and sport are the two derived class. When it comes to the next class, when you come here, we have something called result. This result is going to acquire the properties from test and sport. That means result is my derived class and test and sport are going to be my base classes for result. So here it satisfies the multiple inheritance concept. The challenging part over here is, here I am going to call this roll number. Listen carefully. This result class is going to call put underscore roll number that belongs to the class student. Now the question is whether it's going to be taken through test or it's going to be taken through sport. That's the challenge here. So here is where the ambiguity arises if you're not making a proper condition. To avoid this ambiguity, I am asking you to introduce a term called virtual. So here I'm introducing something called virtual public student. I'm introducing a keyword virtual public student. The same way here also you have to use virtual public student, or you can use public virtual student. Anywhere you can use virtual, the place where you're going to inherit the base class, either virtual public student or public virtual student. Both the ways are going to be accepted. Now we don't have any ambiguity. The program will easily understand how it should be inherited. Okay, all the remaining all are going to be same. I'm not going to change anything. All the details, the display concept, everything are going to be same, and the values are also going to be same. The only thing which I change is the sports class. And the previous program I left the sports class as a base class. This time I'm inheriting some properties from the student class. Okay, now let's run the program. See, I got the output, the same output which I get. For your understanding, if I skip this virtual, what is going to happen? I'm just skipping the virtual. Okay, now let me save and run the program. Look here where it is passing the error. Result is my derived class. When a derived class is trying to access a base class's function, it passes an error. Exactly input underscore roll. Let's see what it says. Put underscore roll is ambiguous. Like I said earlier, there's a confusion whether it should be taken through test or through result. To avoid this ambiguous, I am making both the derived classes, that means for test and sport, while you're inheriting, make sure it should be inherited virtually. The same thing has to be used here also. Either use public virtual or virtual public. Now if you run the program, that ambiguous is going to be avoided and you get the output. That's what you should be knowing about inheritance. So how to use inheritance, base class, derived class, types of inheritance, access specifier. Be very clear about the access specifier. It will be always confusing. That's the reason I just left it with single inheritance. I didn't use any private concept in other programs. Leave it simple understand what are the types and how it performs, and especially the last one, how to use virtual and what is the purpose of using virtual in hybrid inheritance. In the next video, let's learn about how to use constructor in derived class and as well as how to make a function as virtual. Thank you.